What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Hope all is well. Welcome to the 146th episode of Collecting Profit. Excuse me. Um, Here we are. We are remote this week, and that's why I had to start a little later. Traveling for work. Didn't know if I was going to. Wasn't sure if I was going to make it in time to be able to start at, the new time, 9 o'clock. So I did have to push it just in case. But man, Matty Ice, how are you doing, sir? Hope all is well. Well, I tell you, Toronto Blue Jays have woken up for sure. This game, 12 runs, still in the sixth inning, man. So that's pretty good. I would say I was kind of surprised what happened the first two games. Really didn't expect Seattle to do as much as they did. Not really completely surprised, but didn't really expect it. I thought, from that standpoint of what Seattle did, but pitching has been pretty decent. Kirby today, he just unfortunately, didn't have it. But it's amazing that, they pop up 12 runs so far in 6 innings. So their bats definitely came alive. It'll be interesting. I mean, obviously, Seattle still in control for right now, but they get this win, they get confidence. Boom! Next thing you know, and all of a sudden it's 2-2. So Seattle, if they don't want it to go back, I believe they got to win. Let's just say they won't come back 12-2, but they'll have to win. Their next two games, so they don't have to go back to Toronto and try and close them out there. So anything can be possible. Then you have the Dodgers. Dodgers go to Milwaukee, and they do what they do. You got to be surprised by the pitching. Starting pitching. Both pitchers go to the ninth inning, one complete game. Blake Snell does what he does. I wonder what they're going to do, because it seems as though right now, it's all about them, not wanting to go to that bullpen. So we'll see what happens there. From a collector standpoint, I don't really think this series is going to do much as far as driving up any values of any cards. I don't see that. I just don't see it really happening anymore for lack of better words, lower end stuff. I think some of your higher end stuff may go for a little more, but I think you may see more action. I think maybe you'll see more lower end cards going for some of these guys that are, having a great, that having, good to great series. I'm sure, like when you look at Yamamoto, it wouldn't surprise me. I didn't get a chance to look. But it wouldn't surprise me, if a bunch of his, cards, again, lower end cards, were sold, over, from yesterday to today. So we'll see what happens. I don't really see anything out west. Nobody's really done anything spectacular to warrant any prices going up from that standpoint. Football, same type of thing. I think, we're seeing, the same players. It'll affect some of the guys. Now, some of the guys that have gotten hurt, you may see something, but we've had a lot of guys get hurt in the NFL. I don't necessarily know, what superstar we've seen get hurt. Obviously you get hurt, that could definitely go ahead and affect your card value depending on what kind of injury it is. I think when you look, Puka Nacua got hurt. Again, what hurt his value? Probably not. I don't see how it would. From that standpoint, I think we have to just, see what's going on. Uh, Rookies, there really was no, I mean, after Cam Ward, I mean, yeah, you have some wide receivers, you know, the running back Genchi for, for Oakland. I mean, sorry, for Vegas. I mean, you know, those cards aren't going to go. We'll see, and especially now with the takeover, with as we finish the Panini to tops, we still really don't know what tops is going to do, what their cards going to look like. I know I saw um, uh, some basketball cards like there. Hey, Larkin, how you doing, buddy? How's it going? I know Topps was releasing NBA Holiday, and the cards, the design is the same as Top Series One flagship. So I guess we'll see that same type of thing, go on. They'll have flagship, then they'll probably do a chrome, and they'll probably do now basketball. I mean, I guess they'll do an update. Maybe they put rookies. Maybe they add. Maybe maybe well, they're going to do Series Two. I don't know how much of an update there would be, or whether an update for Topps basketball would be worth it. I did pre-order a couple of the holiday basketball ones because I figured, might as well check out some holiday basketball. Got some of the holiday baseball coming. But other than that, I mean, that's really the only stuff to look forward to. There's not really a lot of stuff in the hobby, to check out. When we look at what we got, Beckett, Beckett calendar. When we look at the release dates and stuff like that, I mean, yeah, we have some stuff, coming out. This week we're supposed to see some hockey. Bowman Sapphire is supposed to, I don't know if that came out yet, but was supposed to come out today. So I don't know if there's release day on that. Donruss is going to have their holiday tins for football. So I don't necessarily, I mean, there's just not a lot out there. Impeccable football, impeccable live golf. I mean, not sure how many people are going to be wanting that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know how many people are going to be rushing out to get live golf. What's going to be interesting is October Topps basketball. So that's going to be interesting. Donruss is coming out with a WNBA product. Now, it had always been Panini Prism for WNBA, but now Donruss is coming out. So, we'll get some of those rookies, hopefully. We should be getting some Topps update baseball. I mean, here we are, baseball season is, in the playoffs, and now we're going to get Topps, update. Again, if it comes out, that has an asterisk to it, so who knows? But yeah, I mean, it's weird, man. Panini Eminence football, but Topps holiday baseball, Topps holiday basketball, Topps Diamond Icons baseball. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what is going on with the hobby, to be honest with you. I look at what is out there, and stuff like that. Update is about to come out. Prices already doubled for yeah, and that's the crazy part. The crazy part is the prices go. They're ridiculous. I mean, they really are ridiculous. They've gotten to the point to where, a Topps update, really? I mean, it just goes to show you how starved the market is for anything. you know, and what does it do? It what's happening there, Dom? Hope all is well. And again, what does it do? It goes ahead and, you know, prices people out of the market. And why should um you know why should that double? I mean, it makes zero sense. It's Topps update. Who are you going to get? Like, what is going to be the massive draw in you know, Topps Chrome update, or, Topps update? What are they putting in? What big rookie came up and was like, "Oh my gosh," you know? So what? What are they putting in? So it's it's crazy. When you look at it, I'm trying to see, do they have any kind of checklist? I'm checking right now. I'm checking to see if they have a checklist. I mean, yeah, you can get a Cal Raleigh. I mean, maybe from that standpoint, might be something. Nick Kurtz. Nick Kurtz is probably the one, you're trying to get. I would say Sasaki, but the truth is, you know, Sasaki didn't do enough. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good, but let me ask you a question, Logan. Is that checklist worth the prices doubling? Hey, Kenneth, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? All right. Is it worth it? Is, again, just looking at the rookies, Christian Campbell, okay, Westbrook, Vasquez, Levi, Jordan, Tanner, Osana Ramirez, Denzel Clark, Luke Kiesel with Minnesota. He didn't really do much. Rookie debut. That's the rookie debuts cards. You know what? Ben Rice, rookie debut. I mean, they have the veterans combo of the Guardians, Ramirez and Quan. I mean, I just look at it from a standpoint of, yes, you're going to get a bunch of rookie debuts. Yes, you're going to get a bunch of rookie cards. But after Nick Kurtz, who really are you going to be chasing? Like, if you were gonna get in a break of Topps update, if you and go ahead and check out the the uh drawing a blank, the checklist, sorry. I mean, there's really not anybody that you go on here and go, holy cow, that guy, ooh, holy cow. Like, how the hell is Travis Jankowski on the New York Mets? How? How is Travis? Why is Travis Jankowski on there for for the New York Mets? Do we really he deserves a card? Like, I don't understand. I mean, yes, he was. I mean, yes, he did go ahead and he did come up. Yes, he went ahead and what? He had his cup of coffee and everything, but the dude played for three teams in 2025. The White Sox. He was traded to the Jays, and he signed a minor league contract and played 8 games for Syracuse. And then, he came in. He was designated for assignment on July 10th. He elected free agency. So the guy came up on June 23rd. They selected, they added him to the active roster, and then, less than a month later, he's DFA'd. And you give that guy a card. Why? Why? I just, again, I'm not saying that, um, there aren't some decent cards out there, but I don't see, when I'm looking at this checklist, I don't see anybody. I mean, you got the, Marcelo Mayo, you got Robert Hassel, um, but uh, you don't have Roman Anthony. So again, I'm not saying that, the checklist, that I'm not saying that that it's not a decent checklist. I'm not saying anything like that. But what I am saying is, you know, who you chasing? Once again, there are some, I mean, even the autograph checklist, it's not looking at it again. I'm not saying it's horrible. I don't think it's great, you know. So we'll we'll have to see. What is going to be interesting to see as breaks get done, which teams are the ones that are selling. Like I'm sure for Astro fans trying to get there's a Biggio Altuve, Matty Ice, your Chicago Cubs, dual autograph, Derek Lee and Andre Dawson. You can get Mike Schmidt and Trey Turner. The Oral Hurt now. Here would be one that would be pretty damn good. Oral Hershiser and Fernando Valenzuela. That's a pretty good one. That's not horrible. What if I did this right here? I don't know if you can go ahead and you can see that. But, I mean, again, not saying it's the worst, but I mean, that's pretty good. The triple autographs. Now, this is probably if you're looking at jumbos and hobbies, this is probably where you're looking at potential, right? Felix Hernandez, Johnson, and Gaylord Perry. Ivan Rodriguez, Torrey Hunter, Mario Zonez. I mean, you really couldn't get three better Dodgers. Really? You go Hanley Ramirez, Matt Kemp, and now the Athletics one, that would be nice. Ricky Henderson, Reggie Jackson, and Mark McGuire. Yankees have a good one. I'm sorry, my New York Mets, I wouldn't be chasing it. Cubbies, there you go, Matty. Check it out. Derek Lee, Kenny Lofton, and Aramis Ramirez. That'd be a good one. you know, here's another good one for the Dodgers. Dodgers might be the Dodgers might be the team to go ahead and go for if you're getting into the big breaks where they're doing jumbos and hobbies. A triple auto of Fernando, Oral, and Kirk Gibson. That is a nice triple autograph. And then you have some decent, some other decent ones. You only have to open a few $1,500 jumbos. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I mean, I'm sure the Dodgers, I mean, when you look at those dual autos, a triple auto you could potentially get, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the Dodgers are going for a pretty penny, on release day. It'll be interesting. I'll have to keep an eye open for that to go ahead and check it out. You see if Brando's going to go ahead and get into any of those. But again, it's you're looking at the prices of the hobby. It's just it's getting harder. And I was saying, like I really, really wonder. I mean, I'm being honest about this. Like, I wonder what we're going to get from a autograph and a patch card type thing from basketball. Because when you figure what Panini had it for all their, for all their for all their, towards the end here, they're all their BS of not really giving a crap, printing the crap out of stuff. If you were again, most of the people, a lot of people that I know, they're not flawless or immaculate or any of these briefcase ones. Where you paying $1,400 for 5 cards. But I wonder what Topps is gonna do to have something like that. Are they going to have that? I know, like we know they already have their high-end, dynasty for baseball and stuff like that. Are we gonna I would have to believe we're gonna get the same type of stuff, right? That whatever we get for baseball, we're gonna get for football, or we're gonna get for basketball. So I'm looking, like I said, they're gonna do Topps basketball. It'll be a series one. I don't know if they're doing a series one, series two, an update. I don't know what if they're doing that type of stuff, but we'll get basketball, and it's a paper product. And like I said, I've seen some of the samples of it, just pictures of it, not actually seen them. They do in holiday. I've seen and looking at the samples of those that they have online. It looks just the design is the same as baseball. So they do that. They do Topps Chrome. You know, they already have a Bowman University product, right? So we already know that, we'll get the guys in their college uniforms, um, pro debut. So any baseball players, you'll get those guys in their minor league uniforms. So, but obviously basketball doesn't have that. So basketball wouldn't have like a pro debut stuff, unless they try and maybe squeeze in more G League stuff. I don't know if G League would be a draw for people. I don't know if that would sell. So, so what are they going to do? They're going to do Chrome. I mean, they could do a Heritage and an Archives. It'd be very interesting to see if they would go back. Like I know like will they do the big cards that they had at one time? Or will they go back to 60s basketball design? For a Heritage or an Archive. It'll be, it'll be. Will they do an Allen and Ginter for basketball? I know Allen. You know what I'm saying. Will they do Allen and Ginter? That would be interesting. Because then you'd have some of your baseball players, as your non-basketball guys. So that would be an interesting one from that standpoint. But I just don't know, like where, I don't know. We're gonna have to wait, unfortunately. Um, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I don't expect anything spectacular. Though I'm curious how much of basketball they're going to print. That's going to be a number that hopefully somebody who's really smart can go ahead and figure out, and drop that into. That's kind of probably the stuff that I don't know if he'll open it, but Striker is the type of guy that would go ahead and do something like that. I am in Trustville, Alabama, which is basically uh, just a little, maybe northeast, I think, of Birmingham. So kind of just outside of Birmingham, Alabama. Excuse me, this week. Um, but this baseball game, man, Toronto 12-2. I'm sure Jason and and Jeff are very happy, that Toronto decided to go ahead and show up. Bieber did, Bieber did well. Bieber did really, really good for them. So that's good and everything, you know. But back to the hobby part, like I said, I don't see anything. I just don't see what's gonna drive the hobby. I was watching here in Atlanta, kind of what they consider a big show that people will come to town for is called Culture Collision. And I watched, they have two. They were only doing February, but 2024, 2024, they added September. And went okay. This year, I didn't go to either one, but I saw videos from 2024 from the September 2025 one, and there were a lot of empty tables. So I don't even know, I mean, obviously you can't count the national. The national is the national. The Dallas Card Show is what it is. There's a couple big ones, but you know, I really would like to know, what's going on with these card shows and how they really going. Um, I used to try to watch Bo 1 Million Cubs when and would hear him talk about his uh, excuse me, have listen to him talk about his show that he would do up, and stuff, and you know tables, full tables, all kinds of stuff. I know Pittsburgh, Mark, that we had Mark and Shane on a couple of times, um, that were promoting the Pittsburgh show. Pittsburgh show is big. I was even talking to Anthony about that the other day, and that show is growing and growing and growing. Uh, but like I look at around me where I am, I think there's like, we have maybe like one show a month, in a hotel. But the problem you have is they're not really bringing in a lot of new vendors, so it was last year we went 1 month, then it wasn't, then they have it someplace else. But I wanted to say the one close to home. When I went to the one, which would have been, 2 months later, a lot of the product, a lot of the inventory that I was looking at, I was like, oh, I saw a lot of this. Guys weren't um, they weren't keeping things. Things weren't not expensive, right? They they had you know they had a lot of a lot of them had a lot of inventory. But if you went in January and then you went in March and you saw the same guy and you went to his table, you saw a lot of the same stuff. A lot of the same slabs, a lot of the same, boxes if they were selling, sealed product. And even in, their dollar box, their 50-cent box, stuff like that. You look at it and you're seeing a lot of the same cards. Um, and that's not good for the hobby. It's not good if we're seeing the same. You go to these smaller local shows and you're seeing the same thing. I mean, I would think, that if you're going to be a vendor, you would. I mean, maybe you can, maybe you can't do it because what you have is what you have. That's all you got. You don't have a whole bunch of stuff sitting at home. But I would hope if you were going to do a show, every other month, that you would figure out a way to rotate some kind of inventory so you're not bringing all the same stuff back. Vladdy Guerrero with a double. Vladdy Guerrero 4 for 4 with one home run. So he went from 0 for 7 to 4 for 11. Not too bad. I think if we get any kind of pop from a card perspective, I think we'll have to see it after the playoffs, after the World Series. If somebody that we're not sure of, winds up becoming MVP, I think that can go ahead and help, from that standpoint. But again, very, very. I mean, you never know. I mean, you wonder if is this a good thing for Toronto? Is this a bad thing for Toronto? Has Toronto gotten all their hits out and everything? Have they exploded? And obviously, Game 4 is going to be the telltale. How they come out at Game 4, because that's going to be big for them. If they win this game, now it's 2-1. Again, Seattle still in control. Same thing with with the Mariners, not Mariners, with the Brewers and the Dodgers. The Brewers go out and take the first game. It ain't really the end of the world for the Dodgers. It is what it is. Um, I I I still think the Dodgers are going to go ahead and come out of. I think they're going to beat the Brewers, and they're going to get to the World Series. But I'll tell you right now, a Dodgers Mariners series has got to be terrible for television from a standpoint of time. They're going to make all the West Coast people go to games at 5 o'clock. You know, because that's what they're going to have. They're not going to put any on during the day. They're not going to have Saturday's game be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you put it on at if you put it on 5 p.m. local time, that's 8 p.m. here. That's kind of sort of what you have to do. I mean, I can imagine that's going to kill ratings. So it's going to be interesting if you get two West Coast teams. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Where do you slot that? Right? Do you start at 9 o'clock? I'm sorry. Do you start at 6 o'clock? So that game start at 9 o'clock. Do you start at 7 o'clock local? You can't start a 7 o'clock local game and have the game start on the East Coast at 10 p.m. You're going to lose so much of your audience when the clock after an hour. So baseball, that's going to be one of those things for them. Excuse me, they'll have to figure that crap out. I'm not sure if they'll be able to, but they will have to figure it out. I almost, it's almost like I want to see. It's like now thinking about it. I want to see, Seattle and LA go ahead and make it just to see what they will do from a TV standpoint. So football. I mean, man, football. We're already up to week 7. I mean, football season is couple 2 more weeks and the season's halfway over already. So football is flying by. Division races are tightening up. I don't think any of the rookies are making any, like I said before, I don't think any of the rookies are like, oh my gosh, especially on the offensive side. Ward, he's acting like a rookie. Genty, I don't know, he seems to, ride the wave a little bit, then, then lose the wave. I mean, really, all the offensive, the kid from Tampa, the Ohio State, the product out of Ohio State, the rookie wide receiver, but now he's hurt, so, from a standpoint of, again, trying to buy product and figure out good, bad, or indifferent, I think right now the better prospects for cards are in basketball, to be honest with you. Cooper Flag, the Knuppel kid, the AJ, the 76er guy, even Ace Bailey. I mean, I know people are like, oh my gosh, Ace Bailey, are you kidding me? But, yes, Dom, American football. Yes, American football. Man. The Arizona Gal. Weak class. Yeah, it is. It is. In football, it's a weak class. Basketball has potential to have Arizona Fall League is going on. Oh, wow. Very cool. Forgot about that. They put that on the MLB network. Bears are kicking themselves for passing on Warren. I'm glad it did. Yeah, that was a surprise one. You think basketball is going to be weak? I guess. I mean, what's so hard with these guys is they're playing 1 year, and so many of them, they have a good week or a good year, but man, they're still, it's only one. I mean, you know, Cooper Flag, I mean, he's going to be the one. Cooper Flag is going to be the one that's going to drive the basketball prices, up, in my opinion. because that's the rookie people are going to chase. But there are some guys out there who may um, they may contribute to it a little bit. Cooper Flag role player. Really? So you think Cooper Flag is going to be a role player? Wow. Yeah. I mean, anything's possible. Anything is possible. I think the problem you have is we don't, you know, you really only. I mean, yes, these kids are playing AAU and all this other kind of stuff. Oh, excuse me. But once they get there, you see what happens. I mean, like Cooper Flag, and people are like, oh my gosh, first overall player is great. But you think about where he went. You know, you have Anthony Davis, a top. You know, he's a top player in the league. Kyrie Irving, when he wants to be, like a top player in the league. And now you add Flag to that. Yeah, you're probably right from a standpoint of Flag probably does become a little more of a role player, uh, you know, because you have those other guys already there, right? I mean, it makes sense. I mean, that does make sense that, he's not going to be he's not going to be the focal point until something happens. That's right. I forgot. That's right. His injury is that bad. That's true. Forgot about that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. LeBron hurt. Now him and Luca. I mean, there are people saying I could not believe it when I saw like on the betting thing. The Lakers had like the fifth best chance. I'm looking at them going, why? Yeah, I mean, really? You give them the fifth best chance to win the chip? I don't know. I didn't see that. I didn't when that list came out. Excuse me. I didn't. Excuse me. I didn't see that coming when that list came out. I never would have thought that would have happened like that from that standpoint. You know, hockey, nothing special. I mean, it's just upper deck. So I'm hoping Schaefer does well for the Islanders, even though the Islanders suck. Um, you know, my only hope right now is that the Islanders don't suck as much as the Rangers. I hope the Rangers suck more. As long as that happens, then I'll be all right. So we're in the bottom of the eighth inning. Toronto 12, Seattle 2. Crazy stuff. Again, 12 runs, playoff game. You don't see that a lot. But Toronto exploded. I wonder who's going to pitch tomorrow for Toronto. Will it be Max Scherzer? Oh, 12-3. Who was that? Randy Arozarena just did some yard work. The comeback begins. They go from down 10 to down 9. So, I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, gang, with the hobby and everything, it's classes may be weak, but the problem you have is I don't think that matters anymore, Locke. I know you said that basketball is weak. I think what's going to sell basketball this year is going to be because it's going to be with tops. And I think you're going to now. Will we go ahead and see? Will we see it sitting on the shelves? Like I don't know if you guys go into any stores, but even where I am here, I ran into Walmart to grab some water to drink, and even there they had a bunch of basketball. That basketball, they had some football. I didn't see any baseball, but then I didn't go over and look out. I had to get in and out of the store quick because I was picking somebody up from the airport. So I just saw it from the register. Uh-oh. Cal, the big dumper Riley goes yard. 12-4 now. Dun, 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 dun. Most do. I think I know at one point LeBron, I think his deal is over, but I think LeBron had an exclusive. But I don't, like I know Wembanyama, I know he will be able to because he had the exclusive. You weren't able to get any Wemby autographs out of Panini. Uh, I don't know. So I don't. I'm not 100% sure. Mine does too, but pay attention of it. Oh yeah, a lot. Oh yeah, a lot of it is definitely 2, 3 years old. I was one of the stores by me has 2021, 22 Chronicles draft picks still sitting on the shelf. I mean, like it hasn't moved. It's in the exact same spot. I'm like every time I walk in, I'm waiting for it to see, like, okay, are you gonna mark this down to like $5 a blaster? Because crying out loud, it's still here. But yeah. I mean, the store I was in tonight, um, I think they had new select. Well, it wouldn't be new select basketball because I don't think Panini can put out. Can Panini? I don't think Panini can put out basketball because I know on the Topps product it actually has the team names, the logos, and everything like that. So yeah, a lot of stuff wasn't on the shelf when it was new. Yeah, that is true. It's like it's weird. I mean, how long ago was it? It was a few months ago. Um, I went in and I saw 2021, 22, prism, mosaic hangers, basketball hangers, which I thought was weird. But I don't know. I think they came out with they doing the Halloween stuff again this year. The last time I went in and I saw the Halloween, it was actually last year's stuff. But that was an opportunity. That was a missed opportunity by Panini. They could have gone ahead and really they could have put some stuff in there. And again, it was not expensive stuff. You did get, but you got a lot of packs. I don't know why they didn't throw. You didn't have to throw autographs, but you could have threw a bunch of numbered stuff in there, and that would have been good. Okay, I haven't seen the last time I saw the basketball, the Halloween hoops, but it was last year's. I haven't seen any of the new product in any of in any of my stores. I've seen the old stuff, last year's stuff, not the new stuff. But I don't know, man. I gotta tell you guys that the hobby, it's tough. Even the stuff that I sell. I mean, don't get me wrong. I you know I still will sell. Uh, you know a few $100 a month, but it's even if you say, oh, hey, wow, great, Michael, you do $300 a month. I do $300 a month, but I gotta sell 150 cards, or 100 or two, 175 cards, and that's just in sales. That doesn't include the fees and everything. Ordered from Target. Walmart adds a couple of bucks on the price. Oh wow. I haven't been on Target's website or looking up cards and stuff for a little while here. Um, Yeah, I was trying to find some more of the. Wanted to buy a little bit more holiday because I like putting some of it away. I think I have 21, 22, 23, 24 holiday the holiday megas put aside, just not opening everything. Um, but you know, even from a channel perspective of looking for stuff to buy to open and everything, you go look at the retail and you go and it's like $35 for a blaster that has what? Oh, we have 6 packs, 4 cards per pack for 24 cards. I mean, I don't mind being I don't mind being the channel that goes ahead and you know throws his money away, so you guys don't have to go ahead and go, wow, I wonder if I can get anything good out of that. Oh, you know what? I should probably just watch Huddle's channel because he'll probably have a video on opening up that same box, and I can go ahead and see, and I'll go ahead, and open up. So it's getting harder. It's getting harder to go out buy new stuff and and rip it for you guys. I'm kind of looking for like the oddball stuff. I had a video that unfortunately I ruined it with the sound. Something happened. Russell Westbrook to the King. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that, Don. Russell Westbrook, man, really interesting that he goes to the Kings. Kings are good. Kings are a good basketball team. Um, but even the American football stuff. Thank you, Dom. Hey, if I could find rugby cards, I've been trying to find like like look for the oddball stuff and everything. Like I watched, like watching, Brandon doing some of his, Spurs should be really good. And I bought a box set Ninja Turtle stuff because I thought it was cool. I did get a box of one of the Disney Chromes. I'm not sure which one. I think because there's 2 out, or maybe only one's on pre-order. I'm not sure. I opened up some Superman. You'll see that video on Friday. That's some cool looking product. I'm glad I got 2 of those boxes. But from a new stuff perspective, that's the kind of stuff that I'm looking for. Crap, who just hit a home run? Toronto hit another home run. Hot dog. Addison Barger. Addison Barger. Um, but looking for, kind of the oddball stuff. And then, unfortunately, like I said, I had 2 videos that I screwed up the sound. One was a Tops reveal video, which I did wind up getting I got the Jonah Tong, his, debut. And yeah, that is crazy, but they're putting put good swings on it. And I did get a 6 out of 10 on the Jonah Tong. So I did give it a Tops now. I did get that, but I can't produce the video because I got an echo because I forgot to turn off the microphone of the laptop. When I record, for some reason, it still picks up the sound through that one, and I get I get an echo. So I screwed that one up, and then I did another one. It was college football product. It was crap on it, and I opened that up. So again, I'm just looking for stuff that I don't really see a lot of. The baseball stuff is hard. There's not like there's an uh, abundance of different products, right? Yes, you can get Bowman. Yes, you can get the Topps Series 1, Series 2 update, Topps Chrome. You can get all that kind of stuff. But a lot of the other stuff, it's hard. Dodgers seem to have the book on. Yeah, well, I think, Murphy, the manager, was talking last night, and he said the one thing that he has seen is that in these 2 games, the Brewers are swinging and missing a lot more, and they're not as disciplined. They're swinging at a lot of balls, pitches that would be called balls. That they're and missing and swinging on stuff that's out of the zone. So, Murphy said, he believes that's what's going on over there. Target is low, but yeah, I would say the exact same thing. My target the target that's grabbed the block for me has, a lot of basketball. They have a lot of football. They have UFC, some NASCAR. No wrestling. They do have a bunch of hockey. They have the more hockey than Walmart has hockey. So yeah, but all we can. I mean, I get to me. I get the one thing that gets me is this. I don't mind. I mean, in reality, I don't mind seeing last year's products still on shelves. I mean, I really don't. What I mind is that the price is still the same. That's because Topps isn't making retail product anymore. It's all high-end stuff. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for right now. I mean, they're going to have to, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with their basketball product. How much of that will they have in the wild? How much Topps basketball are we going to see? Basically Series 1 basketball. Excuse me. But, like I said, I don't mind going and seeing last year's basketball or last year's football. I mean, I really don't. But like I said, what I mind seeing it at the same price. Okay. Guess what? When you put it out on the market last year and you put it out at $35 a blaster and it didn't forget, and you know what? 60 or 65, maybe something as much as $70 for a mega, and it didn't sell, and you've had it on the shelf. Now, as you're getting ready to start the new season, you're still charging the same amount of money. Why? Like I said, I don't have a problem with seeing it. I got a problem with seeing it at the exact same damn price. That's just crazy. I mean, that literally makes no sense to me. Ooh, man, this seat is low. I don't see any adjustment. Oh, there it is. Man, that's a little better. A little less bend in the knees. Oh, man. Ooh. But that's what I want. Like I said, I don't have a problem seeing it. Now, to me, I shouldn't see 22, 23 product. Shouldn't see 21, 22 product. Not at, again, they're still going ahead and they're still showing it at a decent price. I don't want to see that, but we'll see. There's a countdown clock on Topps for NBA, 7 days, 13 hours. Yep. I mean, it's going to be big for them, Locke, and I'm telling you, it's going to sell. It's going to sell because there are people who Topps. We got Topps basketball back. We got Topps basketball back. They got a little bit of taste. They did some of the stuff last year and stuff like that they got and the year before that they got a little bit of taste for it, and now it's going to be, hey, we can put a logo on it, and we could put the name of the city and stuff, and I can show Jalen Brunson in his New York Knicks uniform. I can show Jason Tatum in his uniform. I can show Victor Wembanyama in his uniform. That's like June of next year for that countdown. Seems a bit long. What do you mean? That's like June of next year. Topps is coming out with basketball this year, my friend. Oops. What happened there? Okay. Topps has basketball. Basketball is supposed to be released this month. And like I was saying earlier, they're having Topps. I think I tried to pre-order some. I don't know if it went through, but Topps NBA Holiday. Yeah. Well, you're right. June is when June is when the finals are, and that's when most people will go ahead and watch. Uh, there are a lot of people that will not watch. Um, that will not watch NBA basketball during the season. There are a lot of them. A lot of people will just watch playoff basketball, which I don't blame them. I mean, with the regular season, with the maintenance or resting of players, I mean, I can understand it would be kind of difficult that to want to watch or to want to go to games when you don't know. If I want to go see the Knicks play in Atlanta, and be like, oh, that's awesome. Oh, we're sorry. Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson are going to be resting today. Well, that sucks. That ticket, then now whatever I paid for that ticket, I paid way damn too much because I'd rather go ahead and see the stars play. There's in reality, I mean, this whole so-called, maintenance or rest stuff doesn't have to happen anymore. If you're doing an injury, all right, I give you benefit of the doubt if you're doing an injury. But if you're not doing an injury, play the frigging game, man. People are paying money. I mean, investors in the people's cards, they want to see them play because if a guy doesn't play, what's going to drive the value of his card up if a guy doesn't play? I mean, so I can understand why, why a lot of people get pissed off about it. I would maybe before I move, I'll go see a game, a basketball game. Go see Atlanta play. So what's this friggin' rally shit with people taking their shoes off and putting them on their head? Who the hell wants to walk around that freaking stadium if you have to use the restroom, walk around in your shoes and everything like that, and then to rally, you take your shoe off and you put it on your head, and then you take your foot in your sock if you're wearing socks, and then you go ahead and you stand on that, and you're standing in the friggin', at the stadium with it. What the heck is going on with people? Friggin' ridiculous. Ridiculous. Makes no sense to me. Makes zero sense. Yep. Yeah, I mean, Tatum is already in the gym shooting around. I can't believe they would let him come back this year. To be honest with you. I don't think I don't think I would go ahead and let him come back. No matter how much he wants it. I mean, I don't know who's coming out next year from a basketball perspective, but if you're Boston, if you have a chance to, suck a little bit and maybe get a good draft pick to add to Tatum and Brown and Derek White, not a bad little deal. I mean, you have the opportunities there. I mean, look, Spurs did it when, David Thompson, and they stunk. What happened to them? They get the big fundamental, and that is the ball game. As Victor Robles grounds out to first base, and then Victor Robles stops and talks to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. What kind of stupid crap is that? See, this whole being friends with the players that irritate that. I hate that stuff. Shane Bieber 1-0, George Kirby 0-1. Mariners lead the series 2-1. LeBron is what? He's out before the season even starts too, right? I don't think LeBron is playing. Golden State's going to be interesting. What are they going to do with Kuminga? I mean, I know they signed him to a 2-year deal. What are they going to do there? And they added Al Horford. Al Horford left Boston to go to Golden State. Oklahoma City, man, they might be good. Darrell Peterson and the big guy BYU, yeah. Yeah, it's sciatica. How did that happen with him? With all the friggin' chambers and shit like that he has, how does a sciatica get hurt? I don't know. You would think, I don't know, whatever. Beats the crap out of me. Well, well, all right, guys, where a lot of you guys are, it's 11 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down so you guys can go ahead. Too many miles. Well, that's true when you think about it. I mean, the guy has played so many games, and, hey, Father Time is undefeated. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of role he plays on that team. Will he, what is it? Default, defay. Well, I forgot what it was to Luca, but we'll see. But thanks a lot, guys. Much appreciated. Next week we'll go back to our cool break last night. Thank you. Oh yeah, Larkin. Thank you very much for that break last night. That was cool. It was great. It was cool seeing all those different cards. It was cool seeing Gallery and Gypsy Queen again. 2 sets that I wish they never got rid of, and Fire. I still have a 2020. See, Otani came out in what, 2018? I think I have a 2020 or 2021 maybe hobby box of Fire that I still have, and I have a couple of megas of Gallery that I have not opened that I'm kind of holding on. Maybe do a break myself. Who knows? But thanks a lot, everybody. Much appreciated. We'll be back to regular time next week. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy your weekend. Don't forget, dialed in on Tuesday. Come check out Football Talk. The Collecting Profit. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of the baseball playoffs.